How is everybody feeling with the shadow fighting this week? Good? Excellent. If we follow the process correctly, that's to say that we start and finish every class with the shadow fighting, we will accelerate our technical abilities tenfold. We start week 7 with the technical development of the Garamono. This particular weapon opens up a completely new dimension within the fight. We don't need to change any part of the structure to embrace the Garamono, as it connects to everything beautifully. We use the same mechanics that we are building every day of our life, but now we have a new weapon to play with. Remember that we always need to have an emotional connection with everything that we study and train. In this sequence, Ambassador Roland provokes an emotional attack with a pensador and answers with a Garamono. Obviously, we need to create this emotional state in our mind. By creating a strong mental image of what we are trying to do means that we will be able to extract the attitude needed in order to develop our intentions. The predator attitude should be present in all our training, as this is what we are trying to cultivate within ourselves on a daily basis. We are constantly talking about the connections between each of the movements that we train, because without this ability to truly understand how to connect the weapon and the mechanics, we have nothing. I think that we are all very clear on the fact that collecting thousands of techniques is not the way, and definitely is not the ingredient needed to learn how we function and operate in an urban environment. The daily cultivation of instinct is our objective. This is what gives us the answers that we're all in search of. If we don't cultivate that blood-driven action-reaction, it doesn't matter how many things we know or how many techniques we have learned, we will receive a rather vivid wake-up call. Let's watch as Ambassador Roland in red starts to develop the Garamono with Ruben. One thing to be aware of and to be careful with is the placement of the thumb. Don't wrap the thumb around the opponent's limbs, keep it tight to your hand. This way we reduce the risk of stubbing the thumb or getting it caught on something. The Garamono is also a bit like a harpoon gun, dangerous. It's fired with the same intensity as a ballistic punch, and once we grab hold of the opponent, it means we can start to wind them in. This also opens up yet another new door as far as the study of street trapping is concerned. One other important point to remember is that we are trying to grab the skin and not the clothing in the first instance. The study of how to use the clothing for trapping and manipulation purposes is another topic that we will study in the future. Another element that is starting to make itself more apparent is timing, and we can combine this element with the emotion. We provoke a response from the opponent, destroy the incoming attack, and on retraction of the opponent's limb is when we enter. What is the timing of our trap before, during or after. Playing with the timing is a great skill and not easy, but it's a bit like a musician who plays with the same element. If your timing is out in a band, you get kicked out. If your timing is out in a fight, you get kicked in. That's why we must all practice every day. Here we initiate everything. We attack first with a pensa pugno, then smash our way in and trap. This really is the predator at work, with only one intention: we win. The self-centered emotion of me, self and I, that is inherent within the human, is one that is very much frowned upon in modern society, and for very good reason. But if we arrive at an extreme situation which may be life dependent, basically meaning you or me, then clearly the answer is me, self and I, and a whole lot more of me, and sorry for you. By always using good formula, the journey of learning becomes a little easier, and that's only because we now know what we're trying to do. Problems in learning arise when we're not clear about what we want, or what we want to achieve, and if we're not clear about our journey, then it's very easy to get lost and become totally despondent. But hopefully now we are all very clear about our journey, and those old typical emotions of confusion or frustration should be starting to disappear if they haven't already. Now we start building the work again in the predator drill by adding the pensa pugnos. Let's watch as World Ambassador Greg works his way through the predator drill. Notice how he still maintains a sensible speed, which allows him to keep everything together. Trying to speed everything up too quickly, or before we are ready, will have a bad consequence on our future structure. Even if we are not at flat out speed yet, doesn't mean that we can't be intense. With a strong mindset, we are able to apply raw intensity into our training. Thus our physical expression reflects our state of mind. Strong or weak, you decide. But I think I know which one we all prefer. By connecting the punch with the pence attack and the trapping, we are touching on the different ranges in the fight. Plus, by putting the punch first or at the beginning of the work, it forces us to develop our body mechanics correctly in order to deliver the next weapon of choice effectively. The two-man predator helps us to develop so many things in so many different ways. It just depends on what we are studying at the time and what level of intensity and attack the two opponents introduce. Remember that the level of intensity is still very low because we are still adding new weapons that need to be developed. Enjoy the training in this week's class and make sure that you're ready for next week's training.